Hello, and welcome to American Heron Wargaming. This is a battle report for Fallout Wasteland Warfare. I normally do these reports just for my solo games versus the game's AI, but since my last report against a human opponent, our local Wasteland Warfare scene has started to grow a little bit. So this report is also from a game against another real flesh and blood player. It's pretty cool to see the community start to expand. Since my opponent was fairly new to the game, we went with a smaller 350 cap force size, as that's what they could fit together easily. They've also picked Brotherhood of Steel as their main faction, so with all that power armor, it wasn't too hard to fill up the list. We went with a scenario called Following the Footsteps from the Astoundingly Awesome Tales expansion, as that one is also Brotherhood themed. My opponent's list was pretty straightforward: a knight and a lancer in power armor and a field scribe. Though what's pretty slick is that with the sensor array mod to the power armor and the new BOS faction rule, the knight can give the lancer a prepared token, and then the lancer can fire a reaction with no penalty at Perception 8, a really nice power combo. The knight's broadsider gets a performance enhancement with a boosted servos as well. Area of effect damage hitting on 8s is not bad. A surprising choice was spending the full 21 caps to put the field scribe in sturdy combat armor, but I guess with so few models it's good to make sure they last. I had brought literally 4 different lists with me that day, and rolled a die to see which one to field, which ended up picking Reilly's Rangers. It's not the most thematic matchup, but oh well. All the Rangers have their Ranger battle armor, which is 2/2 and gives +1 luck. The luck bonus isn't really ever used, so it's kind of a waste of 2 caps per model, but it just feels wrong putting them in combat armor when their actual armor is a valid item. Reilly has her submachine gun, Butcher has his hunting revolver, Brick is loaded for bear with Eugene, the bloody mess perk, and a combat knife for good measure. Since she has the quick action attack option, but Eugene is slow firing, I like to give her a melee or secondary fire option just so that opportunity isn't wasted. Our second best melee fighter, Donovan, has a Ripper along with his Chinese assault rifle. I was hoping to use a combo with a power armor patch to heal 1 point off of my opponent's power armor in exchange for giving them a stun, but then I realized that only works if the models aren't engaged. If Donovan got into contact to slap the patch on, then both models would be engaged with each other. Oh well. We set the scene in the dilapidated remains of a red rocket station, with lots of abandoned cars lying around. A Brotherhood patrol has gone missing, and this follow-up squad has been sent to find out what happened to them. There are 8 searchable markers, and 3 of those contain clues which will tell the tale of what happened to the lost patrol. The Brotherhood player has to find all 3 of these clues and survive until the end of turn 6. I just have to stop that from happening. The 8th token is under the pump station roof. The Brotherhood has to be set up within red distance of the corner, and the Rangers have the entire other 2 board edges as options. I opt to have 2 groups of 2 Rangers, ready to get some sight lines depending on where the power armor ends up. After setup, but before turn 1, the Brotherhood gets to make 1 free move, but I forgot to snag a picture of that. Despite having the advantage, my opponent opted to ready, but not activate the Knight and Field Scribe. So my first 2 activations involved moving Butcher and Reilly up to get some prepared tokens and hopefully catch the Brotherhood in some Overwatch fire. Things moved quickly after that. The Knight and Field Scribe moved up, took some damage from the Overwatch, and the first broadsider shot failed. They found one of the first clues, which was an Eyebot with some lingering damage on it. Brick stepped up and tried to knock the Eyebot out quickly before moving on to the Scribe, but failed miserably. She got 2 points of damage onto the floating ball before it turned around and double tapped her for 2 and then 4 damage. She got taken out in a single round of shooting. That was not a lucky start for the Rangers, that's for sure. At the end of turn 1, the Brotherhood was playing cagey, and it had paid off with the Rangers already down a model. The Field Scribe moved up a bit and climbed the pile to get to the searchable, but was shot down by Butcher. The Knight pulled around and launched an AoE broadsider shot that clipped both Reilly and Donovan, hitting them for 1 and 2 damage apiece. The Rangers' firing was pretty productive though. The Field Scribe was out, the Eyebot was hanging on with 1 HP left, and I believe at this point that the Lancer had also had her armor broken at this point. Turn 3 started out with the Lancer climbing up and into the bus to flank from the side. Reilly moved in and executed the Eyebot, but that still put her close enough to Butcher that the Knight was able to hit another AoE broadsider shot onto the both of them. All the while, the BOS was doing a good job at cleaning up the searchable tokens. By the end of turn 3, the only one left was right next to Donovan, behind the bus. Which is why, to start off turn 4, the Lancer burst through the back window of the bus in order to snag it, the final clue. Now the Brotherhood just needed to hold out until the end to secure the win. With her other action, she put 2 more damage onto Donovan. It was risky, but I readied but didn't activate Butcher. I needed him to activate and heal Donovan, but if he did anything, he'd get overwatched by the Lancer. So I let that turn ride, and the Knight dropped another AoE broadsider shot, this time hitting both Donovan and Butcher, which neither of them survived. So it was just Reilly against the world at the end of turn 4. Starting turn 5, she really needed some big hits, but kept coming up short. To make matters worse, On the Overwatch shot, she got set on fire too. So with another round of Brotherhood shooting, the Rangers were wiped out, and the Brotherhood claimed the victory. Overall, it was a really fun game with some excellent cinematic moments. I was a bit sad to have lost Brick so early on the dice spike, but hey, that happens sometimes. Despite being new to the game, my opponent built a really solid list, and played it well too, so hats off there. I also really screwed up my positioning. I shouldn't have let them get off multiple broadside or AoE shots on my forces. Every time I thought I'd put enough spacing between them, it turned out that I was just slightly too close. Either way, it was a good time, and I'm glad to see the community building up as well. I'm looking forward to getting even more in-person games in soon, and will be bringing those battle reports out as soon as I get to them. That's it for now. Stay safe out there in the wasteland.